everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing another Wattpad, but this one is all about just bad boys in general, and all these books are mature, so if you like mature, please stay here and I will be talking about all the books that y'all are going to be so excited to read. So let me get started on the first book. So this book, when I tell you it is cute, it is so cute. Like, no wonder this book has this many views because it is so good. This first book is called Delicate Heart and it has 12.6 million reads and 59 parts. And it's by Alexandra Marie, and it is complete and it is mature. Let me read the description because y'all, this book was cute. Just when Aurora is finally taking control of her own life, everything seems to be falling into chaos. She leaves behind all that she's ever known to take a chance at life in an entirely new place, but America is nothing like England, and it happens even more so. Trusting her brother to help her adapt, Aurora accepts his offer to stay with him and some of his teammates, 7 of them to be exact. She quickly comes to realize that her comfort zone doesn't exist here and everything is big, scary, and intimidating. Just like her brother's best friend, Maddox is Aurora's polar opposite, which explains the magnetic pull that he seems to feel for her. He knows that he's bad for her, that the bad in his life will only taint her purity like a drop of ink in water. Maddox doesn't know what to do, what to think about the new girl, but he does know that he thinks about her way too much. He knows that he can't sit by while she struggles, and life in Greensville is sink or swim. Aurora's been thrown into the deep end without a life preserver, and the only thing keeping her from drowning is a tattooed hand reaching out to help her. This book is it is so cute. So basically Aurora moves to the US from England because something happened at the school she was going to. She was going to an all boarding school, and something happened. I'm not gonna get into too much detail about what happened, but you guys will find out. But something happened at the school, the boarding school, and she decided to leave and go stay with her brother, realizing there's 7 hot guys who are all living together. So when she moves in, her brother, obviously she knows his sister is moving in to the place, but nobody doesn't know what she looks like because her brother didn't show any of his teammates what she looked like. And when she arrives, everybody is so surprised. Some of them, I think there's 2 of them, they don't live in the house. I think they were just friends of Chase. That's the brother's name. But they were like, "Oh, that's Aurora. Like, oh, she's cute or whatever." Her brother was not playing around. Chase is not to be the one messing around with his sister because he does not play like that. He told everyone to not do anything with my sister, nothing. So Maddox comes around, he is infatuated with her. Not like to the point like obsessed like that, but like he doesn't even know what she looks like until he sees her. And he is so surprised. He was like, oh my God. He said, wait, that's Aurora? That's Chase's sister? Like, I never seen her ever. Like, Chase has not shown pictures or nothing. And I think if Chase would have showed them pictures, even to Maddox, he probably would have been like, okay. But when he saw her, he was like, what? So, it's really cute. People in the book, they kind of like know that Maddox likes Aurora. Like, you could tell, especially his Wattpad stories. Like, he's a little possessive a little bit, I thought he was like, kind of like, like a little, like a brother, but bro, he want to be more than that, okay? And he's never had that in his life. Like, he does not have girlfriends. He just sleeps around and then bye, see ya, peace out, deuces. So this book is really good. It's really cute. Like, there's some characters in there that, you know, that will question, but it's just like, oh, it's so cute. Read Delicate Heart. You won't regret it. It's really good. So the next story we have, this one is really sad. It is a bad boy story, but it is sad. Like, it literally almost had me in tears. Like, no jokes. So this next book is called As of Karson, and it has a 1.89 million reads and 49 parts, and it is by Lauren9853_, and it is complete and it is mature. Let me read the description. Dakota is just like every other 17-year-old high school senior. That's what everyone thinks. Everyone sees Dakota as this funny, sarcastic, and caring girl. What people don't see is how much she is truly suffering inside. People don't know that the smile she always wears is completely fake. They don't know what's really going on at home. They don't see the bruises she has to cover up every morning. They don't see her having to step up to take care of her 2 younger siblings. She puts on a fake smile, and as soon as she walks through the school doors, and slowly builds her walls up higher as each day goes on. She thinks no one will ever see past her facade, that is, until 3 new bad boys come to strolling at the town, taking an automatic interest in Dakota. And one certain bad boy can read her like an open book. Will Dakota eventually let these 3 boys in, or will she keep everything in until she finally reaches her breaking point? So Karson is the bad boy, and let me see. They have, let's see, Colton, Braxton. So Dakota is abused by her mother. When she was 14 years old, her father died, and then her mother turned to drugs and alcohol, and it just went like worse from there. Like, literally almost every day she would come home drunk, and she would beat on her kids. But then she stopped beating on her kids. Well, the 2 youngest siblings. She stopped beating on the 2 youngest siblings. And she started beating on Dakota because Dakota was like, no, you're not going to hit them anymore. Like, just get me. Just get me. Don't hurt them anymore. So every time her mother would come home, she would get beat. Every time her mother would say something little, and it would be something about something stupid, and her mother would hit her and like beat her. Like, one of the chapters, she literally ended up in the hospital. It was crazy. But her mom is literally a psycho. She had multiple boyfriends. There was one boyfriend, his name was Jason. He was freaking, when I tell you, he was a weirdo. Like, after their father died, I guess Jason was the new boyfriend, and the mother and Jason, they've been together for like 3 years. Like, after the father died, that's when she turned to drugs and alcohol, whatever. And something happened that night. I guess Jason literally was about to like sexually assault her, and you know what? Her mother didn't believe her, and Jason left. And that was it. But then he ended up coming back. So things got a little weird from there. The boys, they came in. They wanted to know all about freaking Dakota. They were like so interested in her. Braxton is really sweet, y'all. He cares, and sometimes he's really serious. After she met the guys, you know, whatever, at school, she went home. The mother came home. They're all scared of the mother. The mother beat Dakota, and her mother is always blaming Dakota. She's like, this is your fault. This is your causing and all this. You're a hoe. Like, calling her daughter all sorts of names. Like, bruh, you need rehab. You need help. She really needed help. I guess her mother beat her so bad that she ended up in the hospital with broken ribs. And the 3 guys were like, oh, how come you missed like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know? Like, they were like trying to figure it out. They ended up figuring it out. Why? Because her mother was the one. Because Dakota was like really secretive about stuff. Like, she told her best friend, I'm gonna get to her best friend in a minute because she's fake. Hey guys, so I'm editing my video and I seen that I was supposed to talk about her best friend being fake, but I cut out the footage and I'm not gonna put it back in because I said so much and I don't want to keep talking about her best friend, but I'm gonna just say that when you guys read the story, you will know why she is fake because I feel like she was fake from the beginning. So she tells her best friend everything, like her mother and all this. So her best friend knows everything. And the guys always ask, like, oh, what happened? And she just lied and said, oh, I just fell. Oh, I don't know, I tripped down the stairs. Like, she comes up with all this BS stuff, which is stupid. I wish she would just tell them because they're literally trying to help. Like, they were really helpful. Like, no jokes. This story will have you in tears. There's a couple chapters where it's just like, oh, this is so disgusting. And I'm not meaning like the mature, like with Jason, the guy, the mother's boyfriend, well, I should say ex-boyfriend. He's freaking weird. It is a connection between Jason and Karson. There's a little connection. Oh, and Carson's father comes in, and it's like it's all a connection. It's like freaking weird. It's weird and scary at the same time. But read this, it literally have you in tears. It's really good. So this next story is called Trouble in Paradise. This is also a sad story. I'm not even kidding. This is also a sad story. Like, it would literally have you in tears. So this story is called Trouble in Paradise, and it has 8.22 million reads and 47 parts, and it's by that one Arthur 101. So it's a little short little summary, okay. Oh, it's completed too, y'all. After battling with a life-threatening disease, Stephanie finally got the all clear on her health. She was free to live her life. She is starting a new school at the start of the year, planning to just finish high school with no problems. But then a certain butthole and his friends come barging into her life, and she is thrown into a world of chaos. So it's kind of funny and kind of sad at the same time. Like, she comes up with some good like backups. Like, she always got something to say every time somebody say it to her. It's really sad. So Stephanie has a disease, and I'm not gonna tell you the disease. You guys are just gonna be surprised. So she has this disease, and she was in the hospital for like a very long time. She could not leave at all. She was really sick. So then she ended up recovering, and the parents, took her out of the hospital and were like, oh, you can go to school, now, because you're recovered. Like, you're, I would say semi-healthy, but at least she's not in the hospital anymore. So the guys come in, and they're the main characters. It's Ethan, Blake, Jordan, and Xavier. And they're like freaking the bad boys. They like literally rule the school. So she's the new girl. Stephanie's the new girl. She comes to the school. Stephanie goes into the school or whatever, and she gets knocked down by this bad boy. And she had like a whole comeback to say. So then, like, at the end of the school, they freaking threw her in the pool, and then she freaking drowned, kind of drowned. She said she knew how to swim, but she literally, like, the water was going in her lung. Then she ended up in the hospital. Maybe like a couple of times because stuff was happening. Guys were like, oh, how come like you keep coming in and out of the hospital? Like, you were gone for 3 weeks. She didn't tell him nothing because she doesn't want to be known as the sick girl. So she just like, oh, when you guys threw me in the pool, something happened or whatever. But she didn't tell the doctors that. She told them something else or whatever. Like, she fell in the pool. They end up finding out that she has this sickness, because she's always sick, but she didn't want them to find out. But she ended up telling them that she was sick because she kept going in and out of the hospital, and also because she fainted, and the doctors, told her when she went back to the hospital, her doctor came in, like, this was like a couple days after she was in the hospital. After she came out, she had to go to visit the doctor, and the doctor was like, oh, I have some like sad news that like your disease, it came back and it's progressing like more and more like there's nothing we can really do besides, you know, you just have to go home and, you know, just change whatever. And I'm gonna just say right now, at the end of the freaking story will have you crying. There's 2 alternate endings, but I wish they could have switched it out instead of kept, like, I wish the author could have kept like alternate ending and not this ending, because it literally made me cry. Like, they were all like together. It was so cute. But this story will have you in tears, and no wonder why it's 8.22 million, because this story is good. Like, it's really good. So read Trouble in Paradise. Very last story. This story is so cute. It's kind of like Delicate Heart, but they're I would say not really similar, but kind of not. No, yeah, you could say kind of similar. So this book is called Cherry and Blue. I don't know if you guys have ever read that, but let me know how y'all think about the book. And it has 4.9 million reads and 70 parts. This book was, I don't really read a lot of books like this, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it, yes. And it's by, who's this author? Drinking Apple Juice. You got a cool name. And it is complete and is mature. Rose is tainted by a dark past, but that doesn't stop her from smiling or being happy. She's only wants love, but how is she going to find love when she has a crush on the bad boy of Bay River High? Daniel is an arrogant, cold, mischievous jerk. He's either playing basketball, sleeping with girls, fighting, or street racing. Everything he does has consequences, but he doesn't give a blank. Well, that is until sweet little Rose comes into the picture. One astronomy project together has Daniel yearning for the sweet and innocent girl, but Rose's past comes back and it breaks her. Daniel never thought seeing her in her eyes would break his heart, and now all he wants to do is show her love. Daniel is determined to set Rose free of her darkness and make her believe that love is what she deserves. Basically, Rose and Daniel have an astronomy project together, and he's kind of like iffy about it. Like, he doesn't really want to be partners with her. It's like all bad. So something happened with Rose, and she got sexually assaulted by these 2 guys, and they do go to the high school. So their names are Red and Wolfie. So her parents died, and the only sibling she has is her brother, which is Nate. And I'm just say he is a race car driver. So Rose and Nate didn't have anywhere else to go because the parents died. So they end up staying with Ren and Ren's brother. And something happened between Ren and Wolfie when her brother was gone, and he literally, sexually assaulted her. And one day Nate found out, her brother found out, and was hitting them, and they end up leaving. So they now live together, and she doesn't let anyone touch her, like no guys. Obviously, I mean, she has her best friend there. Her best friend, could touch her, but no guys cannot touch her because of what happened. And Daniel ends up coming in the picture. So Noah and Daniel are brothers. So Noah and all the guys were walking, and I think he accidentally grabbed her. He didn't mean to grab her like that. It wasn't like a real grab, but she like kind of freaked out, and then she started, she ran away. And the next day Noah apologized. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch you like that." They didn't really understand what was going on until one day they were at a party, and Ren and Wolfie were there. So Ren ended up recognizing Rose, and he said, "Oh, I'm not gonna leave without her." And they were like, "Oh, how do you," like in his head, Daniel was like, "How do you know Rose?" Like, no, like, how do you know her? Like, you're not about to get her. It was just like, okay, what? They didn't end up getting her, but they were trying to figure out how come Ren and Wolfie know Rose, and Danny was trying to figure out. But this is like after, like, you know, they all know each other. They don't know what Rose got herself into, or like how does she know them. At the end, almost, guys, I think you end up finding out like how Wolfie like know each other, which is just like crazy stuff end up happening in the end of the book. But it is cute and sad at the same time, and it's gonna make you want to punch some people. So read Cherry and Blue. It should have more reads in that, because 4.9, y'all who, if y'all didn't read this, please read this book because it's good. But anyways, I hope you like any of these books. Comment down below, y'all, if y'all read any of these books, because I want to like interact with y'all. And also subscribe for more content, especially like this. The next Wattpad books that I'm going to be talking about, y'all, it is mature. It is 18 plus. It's gonna be crazy. You guys probably already read it, but I never read it. The first book I'm reading, I'm not gonna tell y'all, but it is crazy. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.